Hi everyone. We're going to talk about why watercolor. What is it about watercolor that people just seem to love so much? A lot of people don't realize that you don't use white paint when you paint in watercolor. That actually any white you see is the white of the paper. And it's that glow that is happening as light bounces through beautiful transparent layers of paint. It hits the white of the paper and bounces back to your eye. And that creates an optical illusion. It's a bit of vibration that happens as the light filters through those layers and pops back to your eyes. A lot like a stained glass window would, where it's colored the light and you get a glow that seems like it's coming from within. So I think that that's part of why people really love watercolors. Also, there's a looseness and a freshness, oftentimes very beautiful colors, but it seems simple and just a real loose freestyle. And that is really challenging in watercolor. To create something that looks simple is not simple to do. We have challenges in watercolor of being too tight and working it too much. And then you can lose those beautiful lights. You can lose that glow. And it can be difficult to fix mistakes, not impossible. I'm going to give you all kinds of tips on how to fix mistakes. But to create a painting that has that very loose feel, it takes a lot of practice. And it can be done if you learn these foundational steps. So part of learning to be loose is, I say, let it go. We get a little bit too tight, a little bit too, it has to be perfect. And that comes out in your painting. And so we kind of have to let it go. It's only paper. We can't treat this as it's too precious. Some of our inner objections can influence what comes out on the paper. And one of those is, well, I'm not really artistic. There's a wonderful quote I've heard, and it says, if you hear a voice within you saying you are not a painter, by all means paint, and that voice will be silenced. Just start painting. Paint, and you'll prove that little voice is wrong in your head. Some people say, well, I'm not really talented. I don't have it born in me. And I like to think of talent as the desire and the discipline to pursue the persistent, systematic work of learning techniques and skills that produce great results. You might be hearing in your head too that watercolor is hard, that painting should be easy. Well, anything of value and worth doesn't usually come easy. Otherwise, if it came easy, it would be common and not very valuable because everyone could do it. Any skill requires work and practice. Would you expect to play like Chopin after 3 online lessons? Do you think anyone who picks up an instrument can play it without persistent and regular practice? They learn the skill and they practice that skill. And the more they practice, the better they become. The more you do watercolor painting, the better you will become. Another voice we can hear in our head is, every painting must be perfect. Me. But I'm setting myself up for defeat if I'm trying to be perfect at every time, because this cannot be attained, perfection. You can work towards that masterpiece and maybe one day you'll have that perfect masterpiece. But each new painting is going to teach you something that will be a foundational block for the next painting. You will learn something that didn't work, something that did work. You will have reinforced a skill and got better at it. And if your end goal is not perfection, you can let it go and every painting will build upon itself and you will get better with every painting. I think it's a really good idea to keep your beginning paintings, because as you progress, you can actually look back and see your progression. And it's really encouraging to see how you have progressed by keeping some of your older paintings. There is joy in the journey. Even if you don't get a painting that you want to hang on your wall or you even want to give to your grandmother, it's the journey of painting that brings you joy, the learning. So Let it go. It's only paper. Go with the flow. Loosen up. Don't care so much. Play. Have a good time. Enjoy painting. Time is never wasted because each step or painting pathway takes us closer to our goal. Another thing people say is, I can't draw. And a lot of people can't draw. But drawing is a skill that you can learn. Having a good drawing actually is essential to having a good painting. If you don't have a good drawing, no matter how good you are at painting, if you don't have the composition, the perspective right, it's just not gonna work out. It's like having a bad haircut and putting a bow on it. It doesn't help. It's still a bad haircut. There are ways of making a drawing for your painting that you don't have to know how to draw. They're little cheat things. And there are also ways of using different methods that will help you to grow in your drawing skills until you can kind of choose to focus on wanting to become a little bit better with drawing. But that is not an essential to painting, but it is essential to have a good drawing, a good composition before you can have a good painting. Another thing you may be thinking is, I don't have time. We all have 24 hours in one day. And it comes down to desire. I hope to make your painting pathway fun and inspiring so that you can't wait to learn your next new skill. You don't need big chunks of time. You can go at your own pace. You can take 15 minutes a day or every other day or one small project a week, but just keep going. Think of your art time as a little reward for hard work done, or you're rewarding yourself your little eye time, your creative time, your stress buster. Just think if you skipped one evening of TV and spent that 1 or 2 hours painting, what a difference that would make in your painting pathway to success.